The Boy Who Loved the Stars. Leo was a quiet boy. He lived in a small town with his grandmother. His parents had passed away when he was little. His grandmother took care of him with love. But Leo was not like other boys. He did not play football or ride bikes. He liked to look at the sky. Every night, Leo sat outside. He looked at the stars for hours. He knew the names of many stars. He knew about the moon and the planets. He had a small book about space. He read it every day. His dream was big. He wanted to go to space. At school, other kids laughed at him. "You can't go to space. You're just a boy," they said. Leo felt sad, but he did not stop dreaming. He told his teacher, "One day I will be an astronaut." His teacher smiled and said, "Work hard, Leo. Anything is possible." Leo studied every day. He read books about science. He watched videos about space. He asked many questions. He wanted to know everything. His grandmother helped him. She said, "You can reach the stars if you keep trying." One day, Leo saw a news report. A space center was opening a program for young students. They could visit the center and meet real astronauts. Leo was very excited. He asked his grandmother, "Can I go, please?" She looked at the paper and smiled. She said, "Of course, Leo. Let's sign you up." Leo jumped with joy. He was one step closer to his dream. He packed his bag and took his star book. He was ready to learn more. He was ready to start the first step of his journey. Leo and his grandmother took the bus to the space center. It was a big building with tall glass walls. There were many kids like Leo, all excited and full of dreams. Leo held his bag tight. His heart was beating fast. He had never been so far from home. A kind woman met them at the door. She wore a blue jacket with a NASA logo. She said, "Welcome, young explorers." Leo smiled. They went inside and saw pictures of rockets and planets. There were models of space shuttles. Everything looked amazing. The kids sat in a big room. A real astronaut came to speak. His name was Mr. Harris. He had been to space 2 times. He said, "I was just like you. I had a dream. I worked hard. And one day I flew above the earth." All the kids listened closely. After the talk, the kids went to different rooms. One room showed how rockets fly. Another room had suits that astronauts wear. Leo touched the suit with care. He said, "One day I will wear this." He wrote notes in his book and asked many questions. Later, they sat in a small theatre. A movie played about life in space. They saw how astronauts eat, sleep and work in the space station. Leo watched with wide eyes. He wanted to be there. He wanted to float in space and see the Earth from above. At the end of the day, Leo met Mr. Harris. He said, "Sir, I want to be like you." Mr. Harris smiled and said, "Then never give up. Keep learning, keep dreaming, and one day you will fly too." Leo nodded. His dream felt closer than ever before. Leo came back home with a big smile. He showed his notebook to his friends. "I saw rockets. I met an astronaut," he said. His friends were surprised. They listened to every word. Leo felt proud. For the first time, he believed he could do something big. At school, Leo started to study harder. He read books about space. He watched videos about the moon and planets. He asked questions in class. His teacher noticed the change. "You are doing well, Leo," she said. "Keep going." Leo smiled and nodded, but some days were hard. His friends wanted to play. They said, "Why do you study so much? Come play with us." Leo said, "I want to be an astronaut. I must learn a lot." They laughed at him, but he didn't stop. He remembered Mr. Harris's words, "Never give up." His grandmother helped him every night. She read books with him and made warm tea. "You can be anything," she said. "I believe in you." Leo worked harder. He learned about stars, planets, and black holes. He loved every lesson. One evening, Leo stood outside and looked at the sky. The stars were bright, the moon was high. He said, "I will go up there one day." The wind was cold, but his heart was warm. He was not just dreaming now, he was planning. Then something special happened. His teacher told him about a science contest. The winner would go to a real training camp for young astronauts. Leo wanted it badly. He worked on his project every day. He built a model rocket and wrote about Mars. The day of the contest arrived. Leo was nervous, but also excited. He carried his model rocket to the school hall. Many students were there. Some had big projects with lights and sounds. Leo looked at them and felt small, but he took a deep breath and said, "I will do my best." When it was his turn, Leo stood in front of the judges. He spoke slowly and clearly. He showed how his rocket worked. He talked about Mars and how people could live there one day. The judges listened carefully. They smiled and nodded. After the presentations, the judges talked together. Leo waited with his hand shaking. Then one judge came to the stage. "The winner is Leo Carter." Leo's eyes were wide. He could not believe it. His friends clapped. His teacher gave him a big hug. "You did it," she said. That night, Leo ran home to tell his grandma. She cried happy tears and kissed his head. "I'm so proud of you, my boy," she whispered. Leo smiled. "I want to work even harder now," he said. He knew this was just the start. A few weeks later, Leo travelled to the space camp. It was the first time he left his town. The camp was full of kids like him, kids who loved stars and space. They wore uniforms and trained every day. They learned to fly in simulators and talked with real astronauts. Leo was tired each night, but happy. He made new friends. He learned how rockets worked. He looked at the stars with big telescopes. He felt like he belonged. One night he looked at the moon again and whispered, "I'm coming." After space camp, Leo returned home with a big smile. He had stories to tell and dreams to follow. He hugged his grandma tightly. "Thank you for believing in me," he said. She smiled and said, "You are strong, Leo. Never forget that." Leo started studying harder at school. He read books about space and science. He watched videos about rockets and planets. Every night, he wrote in his notebook about his dream. "One day I will go to space," he wrote again and again. Years passed. Leo finished high school with top grades. He got a scholarship to a big university. He packed his bag, hugged his grandma, and took the bus to the city. It was a new world, full of lights, tall buildings, and new people. At the university, Leo met students from all over the world. He worked in labs and built new machines. He asked many questions and learned from great teachers. Sometimes he missed home, but he called his grandma every week. One day, Leo's professor called him to his office. "Leo," he said, "we have chosen you for a special program. It's with the space agency. You will train to be an astronaut." Leo stood still. He could not speak. His eyes filled with tears. His dream was coming true. Leo started the training to become an astronaut. It was hard. He had to run, swim, and learn new things every day. Some days he felt tired, but he never gave up. He remembered his small village, his grandma, and his big dream. After 2 years, Leo stood in a white suit, ready to go to space. His heart was full. He looked out the window of the spaceship. Earth looked small and blue. He smiled. "I made it," he whispered. "I really made it." Back home, his grandma watched the news. She saw Leo on the screen. Her eyes were full of tears. "That's my boy," she said with pride. Leo had become the first person from his village to go to space. The little boy with big dreams had touched the stars.